Okay, so today I thought we would make a video on using a ball winder for yarn. If you're a knitter or crocheter, you may already know how to use this, or you may want to have learned how to use this. Typically speaking, you get your ball of yarn, and as you use it, it can sometimes do funny things, get very soft, mushy, unravel in ways that you're dealing with knots, which is not a whole lot of fun. So I ended up getting a ball winder some years ago for knitting. And when I knit on, when I do the ball winder using this one specifically, it will give, it gives a very nice kind of crisscrossed effect, and when you pull it off the ball winder, the hole does close somewhat, So this is obviously a small one, it's not the biggest cake, I guess you could say, that my ball winder will do. But I wanted to show you an example, because there are many different types of ball winders out there, on how easy it is to use. I also want to try a tip that somebody basically suggested to me. So you'll notice with this one here, there's nothing in the center, and so they suggested, because sometimes as you use it up, it starts to again have the same problem where it's going to get tangled towards the end because there's nothing really holding it together. Whereas people had suggested that if I use a toilet paper roll, and this one obviously I have to remove the toilet paper, but if you use toilet paper roll, then basically this will obviously give the solidity in the center. Now in my case, that works really, really well. Let me just kind of readjust the camera there for you, and then let's see how well it does actually work. Okay, so basically with regards to the ball winder, the one that I bought, it tends to be fairly standard. You've got the little arm there that twists this around. This does come off, so basically in the box, because it's obviously much more compact, it twists and comes off, so basically you're just trying to line up, if you can see it here, you just try and line them up. So I'm going to put it here, I twist it on, now it's secure. You'll also notice that on there, at the very top, at least of mine, there are two little slots right here, So you're going to want to put the yarn there to have it hang on to it. If I'm using the toilet paper roll, it is actually taller, I don't know if you can see inside, yeah, so it's actually taller than the actual column right here. So what I'm going to do, instead of cutting it down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip actually something right here to put my thread through. So let me just find my scissors right here. All right. So I'm just going to, whoop, there we go. All right. And then I'm just going to put this on. All right. So basically this right here maintains the tension as the thread goes through. You'll notice that you can swing it around the two loops there. So I'm going to try this one here, and hopefully it's already pretty tangled, which is not a whole lot of fun. Put this on the ground. I'm going to just wind it around. Oh, sorry. All right, so it's going through, the hole. I'm going to attach it here, And this one for me, mine, it tends to be very loose. I don't know if everybody else's is loose, or mine just happens to have that. The other thing I wanted to mention is when I secured it on, this little knob here, there is something that secures. It's obviously longer. The more I rotate this, it came up, and it basically was able to fit onto a table. I put it on this right now because just for the sake of the video, it makes it a lot easier for me to use. But also when I am weaving, for example, I will do the same thing. So let's start. So I'm going to hold it so that it's not super tight, but it's tight enough. And that is not working. You know what? I don't think I like this. So maybe we have to hold it. Let's see here. Do I have to hold it until this gets started? Let's see here. No. So what I'm finding with this basically, is that this toilet paper roll is sliding way too much. It's not going to work, So this is not obviously a good suggestion for me. So let's go back and do the actual ball winding that I usually do that does work for me, All right. So I'm just putting it in here. All right. All right. And then basically you're just going along until Let me just do a little bit here until the cake is as large as you want it to be. Okay? So at this point, okay, you can see basically I can make this, it'll get fatter and fatter as time goes on. I can actually do it, all right, as I, oh, my ball is not unwinding as nicely as I'd like. Whoop. That's the one thing I find about this one here. Between 3 cats and trying to wind balls can be quite the adventure. So let me put the ball on this side, maybe it'll be easier. Woohoo! There we go. All right. There we go. So basically what I can end up doing, okay, and I'm not going to do the entire ball here, but what you're going to notice is that this ball will get wider and wider. It can actually go to basically the width of this cone right here. And so it can be a fairly large cake. This cake that I showed you here was basically, it wasn't quite, I mean, it still could have gone a lot larger. I obviously ended up, I ran out of yarn on this one here, okay? But I know that I had a lot of fun when I had my 3 cats because I've got 2 legs fending off 2 cats on a different side. I needed the 2 hands to do the ball winding, and that left 1 cat somehow always getting in there. So close the door. That's the only thing I can suggest in that kind of scenario. But I hope. Okay, so as you can see, basically I've finished the cake here. I'm just going to cut it. All right. And then basically as I remove it, okay, I just want to basically, I'm just going to literally just take it off nice and gently, okay? And you've got your cake. Now what I would also suggest, okay, is that probably put some painter's tape, for example, at the end there. You can mark it down, for example, you know, obviously the color is pretty obvious, but, you know, the company, sometimes you can also use, you know, what it comes around wrapped in, for example, or put that in the baggie as well so that you're able to know exactly which yarn this was, so you don't lose track or know you know your properties of it as well. But I hope this helps. I find it really useful because obviously instead of having to store something huge like this, I can make multiple cakes, stack them, you know, put them in a Ziploc baggie. It becomes a lot more compact. And then if I'm knitting or if I'm using it for weaving, I'm not having to always deal with something large like this. I can deal with something much more, you know, more user-friendly and efficient to use instead of something large like this. So I hope that helps, and have yourself a great day.